time is precisely 6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Anjana Dudamgoda and read by Ramesh Pires. The headlines. President Ranil Wickremesinghe addresses the Parliament on IMF's first review of Sri Lanka. The President says Sri Lanka has recently taken several measures to promote transparency and good governance. The Parliament to vote on third reading of 2024 budget today. The government is to suspend acre levy on agricultural land. 1990 or 1990 Suez Area, the free ambulance powered with mixed reality and AI. The Minister of Agriculture says actions will be taken if no measures taken to control prices of eggs and chicken meat within a week. In foreign news, security breach in Indian Parliament, man jumps into lawmakers' area. And in sports, West Indies versus England hosts win first T20 after tourists waste flying start. Now the local news in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is delivering a special statement in Parliament on the International Monetary Fund's Executive Board's completion of the first review under the Extended Fund Facility Arrangement for Sri Lanka. Accordingly, the head of state arrived in Parliament this morning ahead of the vote on the third reading of the 2024 budget. The vote on the committee stage, also known as the third reading of the 2024 budget, was scheduled to take place at 6 p.m. According to the Appropriation Bill of 2024, the total government expenditure has been set at a record 6,978 billion rupees, an increase of nearly 33% compared to 2023. On November 13th, President Wickremesinghe, in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, presented 2024 budget, the country's 78th budget speech, to Parliament as part of the broader economic plan. The vote on the committee stage of the 2024 Appropriation Bill budget is scheduled to take place today. Accordingly, the vote on the committee stage, also known as the third reading of the 2024 budget, is scheduled to take place at 6 p.m. today. On November 13, President Wickremesinghe, in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, presented 2024 budget, the country's 78th budget speech, to Parliament as part of the broader economic plan. The Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industry, Mahinda Amaravira, stated that the manufacturers of products related to poultry farming have not been able to present any reason that can justify the increase in the price of chicken meat and eggs in the local market. The minister stated this while addressing a press conference held at the Ministry of Agriculture and Plantation Industries today. The price of chicken and eggs has increased rapidly in the market, and it has been found that the people who sell and produce these products are behind the increase in price more than in previous years. The increase in the price of chicken, meat and eggs is mainly due to the increase in production costs, but this time such a situation has not arisen. This news broadcast is coming to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Your next generation digital banking partner, People's Bank.
The Minister of Agriculture, Mahinda Amaravira, announced yesterday the government has decided to suspend the collection of the acre levy imposed on agricultural land. Minister Amaravira clarified that the acre levy is a tax charged at the rate of 100 rupees per acre on agricultural land. He further said that the levy is collected by the Agrarian Development Department through development officers. The minister went on to note that the collected levy is then credited to the government's revenue. He further said that President Wickremesinghe had suggested the suspension of the acre levy at a recent cabinet meeting. The President had pointed out that the government was incurring a higher expenditure in collecting the levy than the income received from it. Minister Amaravira added that the ministry intends to completely suspend the acre levy in the future. Sports Minister Harin Fernando today rescinded the gazette issued by former Minister Roshan Ranasinghe that they appointed an interim committee for Sri Lanka cricket headed by Arjuna Ranatunga and attempted to dissolve the incumbent administration of SLC. And that concludes local news.
Enjoy seamless shopping. Open LCs, settle bills and transfer funds instantly, anywhere and anytime. With People's Bank Digital Solutions, you're empowered to do more, whenever and wherever you want. Unlock a world of modern banking conveniences with People's Bank, your next generation digital banking partner. People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
Moving on to the main news story. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said while addressing an international conference in the Parliament, in order to promote transparency and good governance, many positive steps have been taken, including the establishment of sectoral oversight committees and a budget office in the Parliament. The President said this while participating in the special international conference for the parliamentarians of the Asia-Pacific region held on the 6th at the Parliament for the establishment of the world peace under the theme of accountability in action, fostering transparency and good governance among parliamentarians. The President also pointed out that these new positive measures implemented in the Parliament of Sri Lanka will enable policy making to be more populist and financial control and other activities to be carried out in a more transparent and accountable manner. And that came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
This is Watchlight.
And in Watchlight this evening, the prices of several commodity items have reportedly increased in the local market ahead of the upcoming festive season. Accordingly, the prices of eggs, chicken and onions have increased significantly. Despite the maximum retail price imposed on eggs, it has been reported that eggs are currently being sold at prices between 55 to 65 rupees in the local market. Meanwhile, a rapid increase in the prices of chicken was also reported, while vendors have claimed a further price hike is likely in the future. Further, it was also reported that a kilogram of onions is currently being sold at a price of 440 rupees in the local market. Meanwhile, the Committee on Ways and Means has instructed the Inland Revenue Department to take immediate measures to collect due taxes from the parties who have earned undue profits in the importation of wheat flour and sugar recently. And that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Moving on to world news, and first the headlines. Security breach in Indian Parliament. Man jumps into lawmakers' area. Pakistani armed forces suffered deadliest attack this year. Scientists uncover a surprising phenomenon in the Himalayas that might be slowing the effects of climate change. Now the world news in detail. A man jumped into the lawmakers' area of the lower house of India's Parliament today in a major security breach on the 22nd anniversary of a deadly attack on the complex. TV channel showed a man wearing a black jacket jump from the visitors' area into the lawmakers' seating area, climbing over tables and lawmakers. White and yellow-colored smoke could be seen in the chambers in a photograph posted on social media by a lawmaker and shown on India Today TV channel. 23 Pakistani officers were killed on Tuesday when a 6-man suicide squad attempted to drive a truck full of explosives into a military camp in Pakistan's northwestern province of Khyber, according to the army. The attack is the deadliest on the country's armed forces this year. The assaults on Tuesday in the Dera Ismail Khan district of KPK province left 54 militants dead, according to the military. Glaciers in the Himalayas are melting rapidly, but a new report showed an astonishing phenomenon in the world's tallest mountain range could be helping to slow the effects of the global climate crisis. When warming temperatures hit certain high-altitude ice masses, it sets off a surprising reaction that blows robust cold wind down the slopes, according to the study published 4 December 2023 in the journal Nature Geoscience. Back to the headlines of the world news. Security breach in Indian Parliament. Man jumps into lawmakers' area. Pakistani armed forces suffered deadliest attack this year, and scientists uncover a surprising phenomenon in the Himalayas that might be slowing the effects of climate change. And that concludes World News.
Development News.
Moving on to development news. Citrus Leisure PLC, in a groundbreaking collaboration with Colombo Lotus Tower Management Company, proudly unveiled Sri Lanka's first ever revolving restaurant, Blue Orbit, on the 27th floor of the majestic Colombo Lotus Tower, South Asia's tallest self-supported structure. Two landmark launch events were held on the 9th and 10th December to mark the significant milestone in the culinary landscape of Colombo, and the restaurant has now opened its doors to guests. The grand opening of Blue Orbit was a spectacular affair, attended by many dignitaries, including the chairman of the Board of Investment, Dinesh Virakodi, and an array of leaders from the corporate sector, diplomats, tourism officials, and travel industry representatives and state officials. And that was Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
Moving on to sports news and cricket. England led a dominant position slip away that they fell to a 4-wicket defeat by West Indies in the opening game of the T20 series in Bridgetown. Captain Josh Buttler and Phil Salt took the tourists to 77 for no wickets at the end of the power play, and that became 112 for 2 at the halfway stage before England collapsed in the second half of the innings to be bowled out for 171. Andre Russell, making his first West Indies appearance since November 2021, was the pick of the bowlers, taking 3 for 19, while Romarino Shepherd also impressed with figures of 2 for 22. The Windies also made a flying start to their innings before being pegged back, with England leg spinner Adil Rashid taking his 100th T20 international wicket in his 100th match. And that was sports news.
Go ekatiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Moving on to business news. In a pioneering breakthrough 1990 Suez area, Sri Lanka's National Pre-Hospital Emergency Ambulance Service is ushering a new era in emergency healthcare through its innovative connected ambulance. Powered by state-of-the-art mixed reality and AI technology, this groundbreaking initiative is set to revolutionize the landscape of pre-hospital care emergency medical response, not only in Sri Lanka but also for the first time in the Asian region. WaveNet serves as its core technology partner with the use of Microsoft technology, bringing this enhanced life-saving innovation to fruition. Initially, the pilot project will be launched and functional in the western and northern provinces of the Sri Lanka, Colombo and Jaffna respectively. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekatiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news.
In economic news, IMF Senior Mission Chief for Sri Lanka, Peter Broer, says that International Monetary Fund says its second review under the 48-month extended fund facility arrangement for Sri Lanka is expected to be completed by the end of the first half of 2024. Additionally, an IMF team is planning to visit the island nation in March or April next year. Senior Mission Chief Broer commented further, addressing a special virtual media briefing convened this morning. IMF's Deputy Mission Chief Christian Svetska and Resident Representative for Sri Lanka Sawat Jahan also joined the press briefing, which came after the Global Lenders Executive Board finalized the first review on Sri Lanka. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
And finally, we move on to the weather report. Showery weather condition is expected to temporarily enhance over most places of the island for the next few days starting tomorrow. Showers will occur at times in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the Jaffna, Mullaitivu, Matale and Polonnaruwa districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the Vavuniya, Kilinochchi, Mana, Anuradhapura and Hambantota districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in other areas of the island in the night. Heavy showers above 100 mm are likely at some places in the eastern, Uva, western Sabaragamba provinces and in the Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western Sabaragamba, central, southern and Uva provinces in the morning. And that was the weather report. And now to conclude this news broadcast, a recap of the main news headlines. President Wickremesinghe addresses Parliament on the IMF's first review of Sri Lanka. The President says Sri Lanka recently taken several measures to promote transparency and good governance. The Parliament to vote on third reading of 2024 budget today. The government is to suspend acre levy on agricultural land. 1990 Swasario, the free ambulance powered with mixed reality and AI. The Minister of Agriculture says actions will be taken if no measures taken to control prices of eggs and chicken within a week. In foreign news, security breach in Indian Parliament, man jumps into lawmakers' area. And in sports, it's cricket. West Indies versus England. Hosts win first T20 after tourist-based flying start. And with that, we conclude this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.